Good day, everyone. I am Jose Mari Antonio M. Otazu, one of the GAD Secretariats. Welcome to JRRMMC. As you begin this journey, we're excited to introduce an essential part of your workplace culture, the Gender and Development, or GAD, Focal Point System. It is our shared responsibility to create a workplace that is fair, inclusive, and empowering for all. Today, you are not just learning policies, you are becoming a part of a movement, one that champions equality, dignity, and meaningful change. Welcome to a culture where everyone matters. This onboarding aims to strengthen awareness of gender equality and empower every employee to contribute to a respectful, inclusive, and equitable environment. Gender in Development, or GAD, is more than a policy. It is a commitment for fairness, respect, and equal opportunities for all, regardless of gender. By understanding GAD, we help create a workplace where everyone feels valued and heard. Let's break down some important concepts. Sex. This refers to biological characteristics. Gender, on the other hand, relates to roles, behaviors, and identities shaped by the society. Sexual orientation is about who a person is attracted to. Gender identity, on the other hand, is how a person understands themselves. Gender expression is how someone presents themselves to the world. Now, what is gender and development, or GAD? This is not just a concept. It is a way of shaping how we work, serve, and treat one another. It is a development approach that is, first, participatory, where everyone has a voice. Empowering. This enables an individual to grow and lead. Equitable, ensuring that fairness and equal opportunities is at hand. Sustainable, creating long term positive impact. Free from violence, promoting safety and dignity. Respectful of human rights, valuing every person. And lastly, supportive of self determination as we honor individual choices. And we also focus on the full development of human potential. At its core, God is about building a workplace and a society where everyone can thrive without barriers or discrimination. And here at our institution, this begins with each of us. What is God Focal Point System? It is a team or an interconnected and collaborative group of individuals across the organization working together to drive gender equality forward. In all government institutions, God Focal Point System serves as a catalyst for change, accelerating the integration of gender perspectives into everyday work. It ensures that gender and development principles are not just ideas, rather than it is an action. This system, it advocates for gender responsive policies. It guides and coordinates initiatives across departments. It also monitors progress and impact. And it continuously reviews and updates GAD plans, programs, activities, and projects, also known as the PAPs. Simply put, the GAD focal point system keeps our commitment to inclusivity active, organized, and moving forward. And its success depends on everyone's participation, including yours. Understanding these helps us respect differences and avoid assumptions. The GAD focal point system works as one interconnected structure, each part playing a vital role in making gender equality happen. At the top is the head of agency, leading the executive committee, setting direction, strengthening commitment, and ensuring accountability. Supporting this is the GAD Focal Point System Technical Working Group, or the Secretariat, the driving force that plans, coordinates, and keeps initiative moving. Across all levels, regional offices, bureaus, and attached agencies extend and implement GAD efforts on the ground. Together, these groups form a unified system, connected, coordinated, and committed to one goal: a more inclusive, equitable, and gender responsive organization. And as a part of this institution, you are now part of that connection. Let's take a look at the leaders behind our GAD focal point system. The executive committee is composed of key officials who guide and strengthen our GAD efforts. Let's start with the Medical Center Chief 2, Dr. Wenceslao S. Lauderes. We also have the Chief Medical Professional Staff 2, Dr. Zarla G. Flores. Our Chief Nurse, Mr. Joseph T. Gatchalian. Chief Administrative Officer for Finance, Mr. Jason G. De La Cruz. Chief Administrative Officer for HOPS, Attorney Rowella C. Mendoza. Working closely with them is the GAD Technical Working Group, with our chairperson, Dr. Maria Luis L. Peña, co-working with the vice chairperson, Dr. Flor Delis Abad Casintahan. Together, these leaders ensure that gender and development initiatives are not only planned, but effectively carried out across the institution. Their leadership drives our shared commitment to equality, inclusivity, and meaningful change. Why does gender and development matter? It is simply put that it serves as a roadmap guiding us toward a more fair, inclusive, and effective organization. God helps us focus on what truly matters: empowerment and inclusion, giving everyone the opportunity to participate and succeed, social justice and human rights, ensuring dignity, fairness, and equal protection for all. Targeted interventions, addressing real needs with responsive and relevant actions. Enhanced decision making, building better outcomes through diverse perspectives. Economic growth, strengthening productivity through equality and opportunity. In simple terms, God is not just about equality. It is about building a stronger, more responsive institution for everyone. And that impact starts with you. As we move forward, remember this: gender and development is not a one time effort, it is a continuous journey, a journey shaped by our actions, our choices, and how we treat one another every day. Inclusion, respect, and equality. These are not just ideals, they are the standards we uphold. Together, let's build a workplace where everyone can thrive and no one is left behind. Because at JRRMMC, change begins with us. This has been Jose Mari Antonio M. Motazu. In pride and solidarity, mabuhay tayong lahat.
So what is gender in development? It refers to the development perspective and process that are participatory and empowering, equitable, sustainable, free from violence, respectful of human rights, supportive of self-determination and actualization of human potential. It seeks to achieve gender equality as a fundamental value. It is a strategy for development that ensures gender concerns and experiences are integrated into all stages of policies, programs, and projects so that everyone benefits equally. The gender in development is guided by different policy imperatives that require organizations to integrate gender perspectives into all policies, plans, and budgets, and are operationalized. The Magna Carta of Women, the Philippine version of CEDAW, mandates gender mainstreaming in all government instrumentalities. The international agreements, including the Beijing Platform for Action, BPFA, is a landmark document for advancing women's rights and gender equality, agreed upon in 1995 in the UN Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW. A landmark international treaty that defines and condemns discrimination against women. It is also known as the International Bill of Rights for Women, and requires signatory countries to abolish discriminatory laws, ensure women's equal rights in all fields, and eliminate discrimination by individuals and organizations. Philippine Plan for Gender Responsive Development is 30-year plan, rests on a vision of development that is equitable, sustainable, free from violence, respectful of human rights, supportive of self-determination and the actualization of human potentials, and participatory and empowering. The General Appropriations Act, GAA, directs government agencies to formulate a GAD plan and allocate at least 5% of their annual budget for gender and development, GAD, policy, programs and projects. Ultimately, the goal of all these is to achieve gender equality and ensure that both women and men fully benefit from development efforts. Let's take a look at sex, gender and orientation, and look at their differences and what we can change and what we cannot. Sex is what lies between our legs. It is the physiology we are born with. Our sex consists of our biological makeup, which can include things like our genitals and secondary sex characteristics and placement of body hair, hip width, our hairlines and our chromosomal makeup. As you might know, the chromosomal makeup can determine sex characteristics that are typical of males or females. The problem relying solely on science to determine someone's gender biology can be tricky. Having male or female chromosomes doesn't always lead to the secondary sex characteristics typical to that sex. People with male typical XY chromosomal combinations may actually exhibit female characteristics instead. This contrasts between makeup and characteristics is what many call intersex. Intersex individuals often do not fit typical definitions of male or female bodies. Gender. Gender is a construct. I know we've all heard this before, we hear people say it all the time, but what does it actually mean? Well, it means gender is what we make it out to be. Our gender consists of two things. The first is our gender identity. This is what we think about ourselves and how we interpret gender. The second is our gender expression. Gender expression is how we demonstrate our gender in our behaviors, mannerisms, and forms of dress. Gender also consists of societal expectations and stereotypes we place on people. We often base these expectations off of their sex characteristics. You may have heard of some of these typical stereotypes. Pink for girls, blue for boys. Action figures versus dolls, long hair versus buzz cuts. Women must be feminine, while men must be masculine. This is not to discredit or disrespect any girly girls or manly men out there. Many of us feel comfortable in our expected genders, and that's perfectly okay, but of course there are a number of people who don't want to adhere to every norm. Different people view and express their gender differently. There are some people who do not identify with the gender role the world has given them, so they identify as another. These are transgender people. There are also people who prefer to have both or neither of the traditional men-women gender titles. These are non-binary or gender-queer people. Orientation. Orientation is about who we like greater than orientation is about the sex-gender combination or lack thereof that we are most attracted to. Most people are heterosexual, they are attracted to people of opposite gender. Homosexual people are attracted to those of the same gender. Bisexual people are attracted to people of both genders. Some people couldn't care less about gender, to some it's all about the appeal of masculine or feminine energy. Some people are pansexual. This means that they are capable of falling for someone regardless of their sex or gender presentation. A lot of people seem to think this one's a choice, but we all just feel what we feel. Our urges are innate and made subconsciously. The only choice anyone has about who they fall for is the choice to pursue them or not. Please remember these definitions are brief and sexuality is fast and complicated. Some of this is obvious to many of you, but considering the statistics we have on sex education today, a lot of us may benefit from this information. The GAD Focal Point System, GFPS, is an interacting and interdependent group of people tasked to catalyze and accelerate gender mainstreaming within the agency. The GFPS is responsible for tasks like creating annual GAD plans, budgets, and accomplishment reports, and for collecting and using sex disaggregated data. The GFPS is expected to advocate, guide, coordinate, monitor the development, implementation, review and updating of their GAD plans and GAD-related programs, activities, and projects. In essence, the GAA of at least 5% GAD is a legal requirement in the Philippines for all government entities to budget for gender equality initiatives, programs, activities and projects to address gender issues, and promote social inclusion and women's empowerment. The core issue between women and men in gender and development, GAD, is systemic inequality rooted in socially constructed roles, leading to unequal power, resources, opportunities in education, jobs, pay, and burdens unpaid care, hindering the development for all. Women globally earn significantly less than men and face significant workplace issues like the persistent gender pay gap, underrepresentation in leadership, sexual harassment, and difficulty balancing work with disproportionate family responsibilities. GAD aims to transform these relations by integrating both genders' needs into policies, promoting shared responsibility, and challenging stereotypes to achieve true equality. Expenses that can be charged to the GAD budget. Programs, activities and projects in the PCW-endorsed GAD plan including relevant expenses such as supplies, travel, food, board and lodging, professional fees among others, capacity development on GAD, activities related to the establishment and strengthening of enabling mechanisms that support the GAD efforts of agencies, GFPS, VAW desk, among others, salaries of agency personnel assigned to plan, implement and monitor the GAD PAPs on a full-time basis following government rules in hiring and creating positions. Agencies may cost time spent by GFPS members and of agency personnel doing GAD-related work. Salaries of police women and men assigned to women's desks. Agency programs to address women's practical and strategic needs. Consultations conducted by agencies to gather inputs for and/or to disseminate the GAD plan and budget. Payment of professional fees, honoraria and other services for gender experts. IEC activities that support the GAD PAPs and objectives of the agency. Expenses that cannot be charged to the GAD budget. PAPs that are not in the agency's PCW-endorsed GAD plan. Personal services of women employees unless they are working full-time or part-time on GAD PAPs. Honoraria for agency GAD focal point system members or other employees working on their agency GAD programs and activities. Salaries of casual or emergency employees unless they are hired to assist in GAD-related PAPs. Provision for contingency funds or other service of PAPs, carpooling, gas masks for traffic, environment enforcers, among others. The following expenses may not be charged to the GAD budget unless they are justified as clearly addressing a specific gender issue. Physical, mental and health fitness including purchase of equipment and information dissemination materials. Social, rest and recreation activities, religious activities and implementation of cultural projects, and construction expenses. Purchase of supplies, materials, equipment and vehicles for the general use of agency. How can we achieve equality? Everyone who believes in the vision of attaining a full and satisfying life for all has an obligation to help pursue GAD. For as long as you respect every person, individual regardless of age, ability, belief, religion, educational attainment, race, ethnic group, status in society, marital status, region of origin, color, sexual orientation, gender identity and expression.